With hope on the horizon that borders may reopen and we'll be able to get on a plane and go to the Philippines once more, I thought we should start by preparing with this video where I'll tell you 3 things to always pack when going to the Philippines. This video is more for those who have never been before or are new to travelling, but I assure you having these 3 things will make your travels much easier and far less frustrating. So if you want to find out what these 3 important items are that can be easy to forget, then buckle up and stay with me here. I can tell you from experience there's nothing worse than forgetting something when you're flying to another country that may seem a small thing, but certainly it can cause some stress. I remember my first flight to the Philippines where I thought I had everything covered. I went over it all in my mind and I was sure that I had everything I'd possibly need, but quickly found out this wasn't the case. I recall being a couple of hours out from Manila Airport when the cabin crew brought around our declaration cards to fill out and hand in as we go through immigration. I looked at the white piece of paper that had areas to fill in and to tick some boxes when I realised I didn't have a pen. I looked at the other passengers on the plane who were pulling pens out of their pocket or from their travel luggage and thought to myself, no problems, I'll find a pen at the airport. After landing and walking into the area just before customs, I saw some benches and thought I was in luck. Surely they'll have pens there. So I casually stroll over only to find no pens, and I thought to myself, how can I get a pen? Because without the form being completed, I won't be able to get through customs. I remember walking around thinking maybe there's a shop where I can buy a pen, but there were no shops. Eventually, I asked a security guard who was kind enough to lend me his pen, which I was grateful for, and certainly I learnt a valuable lesson. From that point on, I always carry at least 2 or 3 blue or black pens when flying to the Philippines. So, lesson well and truly learnt. The next thing I never even considered on my first visit to the Philippines was being around able to charge my cell phone or any other electronic gadgets I took with me. Now, to be honest, I never really knew that the power outlets were different in the Philippines to that of Australia, but I quickly found out that my adapters didn't fit there. You can be sure, being in a foreign country, racing around and trying to find universal adapters can be frustrating and time-consuming. Needless to say, eventually I got organised, and nowadays before I travel to the Philippines, I always make sure to pack my trusty universal adapters. Again, my second lesson well learnt. The third thing I never considered at all because I was a naive foreign guy was toilet paper. I just thought everywhere in the Philippines would have toilet paper, and it was something I never even considered. However, I did find out the hard way when I went to the province to stay at my wife's family's house where there was no toilet paper. Now, you don't necessarily need to pack toilet paper in your luggage because you can buy toilet paper in many places throughout the Philippines, and more so in the cities at places like supermarkets or 7-Eleven stores. But it probably doesn't hurt to take a roll or 2 with you, or perhaps even baby wipes. But if not, don't leave the big cities without buying a few rolls is my best advice. I sure know that I've certainly learnt my lesson here. So there are 3 simple but valuable tips for new travellers to the Philippines that will be sure to make your trip a little easier and far less frustrating. And these items hardly take up any room in your pocket or luggage. All we need now is for the borders to reopen and away we go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.